Villains are essential to making a film unforgettable, but it's the sweet, satisfying moment when they get their comeuppance that truly makes the movie. Whether it's a calculated downfall, a brutal defeat, or poetic justice, these moments stay with us. Today we're going to count down the 10 most satisfying villain deaths and comeuppances in movie history, from shocking twists to well-earned retribution, and there are going to be spoilers here. Let's fade to black. Commodus is one of the most despicable villains in cinema, and his comeuppance is deeply satisfying. After all the political manoeuvring and betrayal, his final moments come at the hands of Maximus. The brutal yet poetic twist, being stabbed by the very man he tried to destroy, provides a powerful emotional payoff. His death is not only a physical defeat, but the end of his reign of terror. The visual of Commodus defeated is a striking image of justice, made all the more poignant by Maximus's return to his beloved family. The power dynamics are flipped, and the audience finally gets the release they've been waiting for. O-Ren Ishii is one of the most iconic characters in Kill Bill, and her death comes after an intense and beautiful sword fight. The battle between the bride and O-Ren is visually stunning, with Tarantino's trademark style elevating every moment. The final kill, however, is the most satisfying moment. O-Ren, the leader of the deadly Viper assassination squad, meets her end when the bride slices through her in one clean, powerful move. The precision of the death and the accompanying cherry blossom imagery make this scene unforgettable, perfectly blending violence with art. It's the ultimate redemption for the bride, and a moment of beautiful vengeance for the audience. Agent Smith is relentless, an almost unstoppable force who continuously threatens Neo and the entire human race. However, his ultimate defeat in the Matrix Revolutions is one of the most satisfying in movie history. After being an ever-present menace across the franchise, he finally faces the consequences of his own arrogance.
No, it's not fair.
In the final showdown, Neo, who has sacrificed himself to save humanity, allows Agent Smith to destroy him, only for Neo's self-sacrifice to lead to Smith's undoing. The sheer scale and the philosophical weight of his downfall make this a climax that resonates beyond just physical destruction. Alonzo Harris, played by Denzel Washington, is a corrupt cop who manipulates and destroys everyone in his path to maintain power. His comeuppance is brutal, and it feels like justice after all the lies and corruption he's spread. The final moments of Training Day show Alonzo trying to escape the consequences of his actions, only to be confronted by the very people he betrayed. The brutal confrontation is the film's ultimate release of tension, as Alonzo is taken down by the very system he believed he could control. The justice in his downfall is earned through his relentless abuse of power, making it a fitting end for his character. Carter Burke, played by Paul Reiser, is one of the most vile corporate villains in movie history. His betrayal of the survivors and aliens for profit is shocking, and his comeuppance is sweet and incredibly satisfying. In the final moments, after being locked in a room, Burke's fate is sealed. It's a brutal but fitting end for a man who was willing to sacrifice others for his own gain, and it highlights the movie's underlying themes of greed and survival. Hans Gruber is one of the most iconic movie villains, and his death is a masterclass in cinematic justice. After terrorizing Nakatomi Plaza and causing chaos throughout the film, his fall from the building is as dramatic as it is satisfying. His smugness and sense of superiority make his demise feel earned, and it's hard not to cheer as he meets his fate with a look of shock and disbelief. Gruber's death marks the perfect end to a perfect villain. Captain Vidal, the brutal and sadistic antagonist in Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth, meets a poetic and symbolic end. Throughout the film, Vidal represents fascism, tyranny and cruelty, and his eventual downfall is deeply satisfying. His death comes at the hands of a young girl, Ophelia, whose imagination and bravery have been a form of resistance to his reign. The manner in which he dies, shot by his own men with a grim, unceremonious ending, is a powerful and symbolic representation of the collapse of tyranny. It's a moment that signifies the defeat of oppressive power, making it a satisfying and unforgettable comeuppance. Hans Landa is one of the most chilling villains in Inglourious Basterds, and his fate is the ultimate payoff in Tarantino's world of retribution. Landa, played brilliantly by Christoph Waltz, has spent the entire movie manipulating and scheming to ensure his survival, but in the final moments, he meets his match in the form of the Bastards.
I'm gonna give you something you can't take off.
The sense of justice is palpable as Lander, once so smug and calculating, is captured and forced to face the consequences of his actions. The fact that he is outwitted and humiliated by those he tried to control makes his downfall one of the most satisfying in film history. Percy Wetmore, portrayed by Doug Hutchinson, is a sadistic prison guard who delights in the suffering of others. Throughout the Green Mile, his cruelty is evident, especially towards the inmates and the miraculous John Coffey. Percy's comeuppance comes at the hands of the very power he sought to control. In the film's tragic yet poetic conclusion, Percy gets his due when he is left in a state of extreme vulnerability and helplessness. His fate is deeply satisfying as it serves as a moment of redemption for the film's heroes, and a fitting end for a man whose evil behaviour had no consequences until now. Nurse Ratched, portrayed by Louise Fletcher, is the epitome of institutionalised oppression and cruelty. Her calm, composed demeanour masks a manipulative and authoritarian nature, allowing her to maintain an iron grip over the psychiatric ward. Her comeuppance in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is not immediate, but it is profoundly satisfying. After years of psychologically tormenting patients, particularly McMurphy, her control is finally challenged when Billy Bibbit, a timid patient, finds a moment of confidence and defiance. In response, Ratched cruelly weaponizes his deepest insecurities, shaming him and threatening to tell his mother. Overwhelmed with despair, Billy takes his own life, an event that exposes Ratched's true cruelty to the rest of the ward.
Our daily routine. All right?
Enraged, McMurphy snaps and violently attacks her, strangling her in front of the other patients. Though she survives, the assault leaves her physically weakened and unable to speak, robbing her of the voice that once commanded absolute authority. In the end, Nurse Ratched doesn't die, but she is left powerless, her influence broken and her once unquestioned rule reduced to mere silence, a fate far worse than death for someone who thrived on control. These villains were all deserving of their fate, and their comeuppance have left an indelible mark on our movie-watching experience. Which one was the most satisfying for you? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more cinematic breakdowns and lists like this one. As ever, I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.